The story begins with a young woman named Hana, a kind-hearted but financially struggling girl who works multiple part-time jobs to support her sick mother. She has always been insecure about her background, living in a small rented apartment, wearing second-hand clothes, and constantly feeling out of place among people from wealthier families. Despite her natural beauty and intelligence, Hana's self-esteem is fragile. She believes that people, especially men, only value appearances and status, not sincerity or heart. One day, Hana's best friend persuades her to go on a blind date with a man rumored to be from a successful, elite family. At first, Hana refuses, fearing humiliation or pity if he discovers her poverty. But after much convincing, she reluctantly agrees, on one condition: she would pretend to be unattractive. Her plan is simple: dress awkwardly, wear thick glasses, put her hair in a messy bun, and speak shyly, hiding her true self behind an ugly facade. Hana thinks that if she looks undesirable, she'll avoid being judged for her social status, and the man will quickly lose interest, sparing her from emotional pain. As she prepares for the date, her thoughts race with doubt and fear. What if he mocks me? What if he finds out I'm poor? What if I get attached and he leaves? These questions haunt her. Her decision to disguise herself is not out of deceit, but out of deep insecurity and emotional self-defense. She has faced too many rejections before: employers who looked down on her for her background, classmates who mocked her modest clothes, and even past crushes who only noticed her when she dressed up. Hana's choice reflects the pain of countless people who hide their real selves, fearing that society only accepts perfection. Her act of pretending to be ugly symbolizes her attempt to control rejection before it happens, to reject herself before anyone else can. It's a heartbreaking but relatable moment that shows how poverty and insecurity can shape someone's perception of love and worth. What Hana doesn't know is that this blind date will become a turning point in her life. The man sitting across from her, the supposed ordinary guy, will soon see beyond her disguise. Her fear of rejection will soon be challenged by someone who values truth over appearances, setting the stage for an unexpected and emotional journey toward self-acceptance and love. The man Hana meets on the blind date is Jihoon, a young, successful millionaire CEO of a major technology company. Despite his wealth, Jihoon is known for being quiet, humble, and extremely observant. Years of dealing with people who only approached him for money or status have made him skeptical of others' intentions. Deep inside, he longs to meet someone genuine, someone who would love him for who he truly is, not for his luxurious lifestyle or fame. When Jihoon agrees to the blind date, he decides to hide his identity and attend as a simple, down-to-earth man. He dresses casually, drives an ordinary car, and introduces himself as a mid-level employee. He wants to see how his date will treat him when she believes he's just another regular person. What he doesn't expect, however, is to meet a woman who is pretending too, just for a completely different reason. From the moment Hana walks into the cafe, Jihoon notices something unusual. Her oversized glasses, ill-fitting clothes, and timid posture seem forced, as if she's deliberately trying to make herself look plain. But what catches his attention even more is her kindness and sincerity. She doesn't brag, doesn't ask personal questions about money, and listens carefully to everything he says. There's a quiet warmth in her eyes that even her awkward disguise can't hide. Jihoon, intrigued, starts to observe her carefully. He notices the small gestures that reveal her true nature: how she politely thanks the waiter, how she blushes when she laughs, how she nervously adjusts her glasses whenever she feels shy. It becomes clear to him that her ugliness is just an act. Instead of being amused or offended, Jihoon becomes curious. Why would such a sweet, graceful woman hide behind such a mask? The CEO in him, used to analyzing people, quickly senses that Hana's disguise is born from insecurity, not deception. He decides not to confront her directly but to test her honesty and depth. Throughout their conversation, he asks her questions about love, success, and happiness, not as a CEO but as a man seeking truth. He wants to know if she values wealth or character, luxury or heart. Unbeknownst to Hana, Jihoon's quiet observation is slowly breaking down the emotional walls she built. In her attempt to hide, she has caught the attention of a man who sees beyond appearances, a man whose interest is not driven by beauty but by the authenticity she's trying so hard to conceal. As the blind date progresses, Hana becomes increasingly nervous. She expects the evening to be awkward at best and humiliating at worst, convinced that her disguise will either protect her from rejection or make him lose interest quickly. But Jihoon, the seemingly ordinary man sitting across from her, does something completely unexpected. He challenges her. Not in a harsh or confrontational way, but in a manner that makes her confront her own fears, insecurities, and the very reasons she decided to pretend to be someone she's not. Jihoon starts asking thoughtful, probing questions. What do you value most in life? He inquires. Why do you think people fall in love? His voice is calm, but his eyes are attentive, scanning her expressions and reactions. Unlike other men Hana has met, he doesn't compliment her looks or ask about her job. Instead, he is genuinely interested in her thoughts, her values, and her dreams. This both surprises and unnerves Hana. She has never experienced someone taking such a sincere interest in her mind and heart without judgment or hidden motives. As the conversation deepens, Jihoon notices inconsistencies in her words and behavior. He gently presses, asking why she seems hesitant, why she avoids eye contact, and why she dresses so modestly despite her apparent natural beauty. Hana, caught off guard, tries to maintain her act, but Jihoon's calm and insightful questioning gradually cracks her armor. She begins to realize that she can't continue the pretense with someone who is genuinely paying attention to her soul rather than her exterior. What makes this challenge extraordinary is that Jihoon is not just trying to uncover her disguise, he is pushing her to confront herself. His questions are subtle tests of honesty and courage. He wants to see if Hana will continue hiding behind fear or if she has the strength to reveal her true self. It's a delicate balance. He is compassionate yet firm, attentive yet probing. Through this emotional test, Hana experiences an internal struggle. Part of her wants to maintain the illusion, fearing that revealing her true self will bring rejection. But another part feels a sense of relief, a flicker of hope, as she realizes that Jihoon's curiosity and patience might allow her to be accepted for who she really is. His challenge, though quiet, becomes the catalyst for her personal growth, prompting her to question why she hides, what she truly wants in love, and whether vulnerability might actually lead to genuine connection. This moment marks a turning point. What Hana anticipated as a simple blind date becomes a profound encounter that will reshape her understanding of trust, honesty, and love, setting the stage for the emotional revelations that follow. As the blind date continues, the tension between Hana's carefully constructed disguise and her true self reaches its peak. The questions Jihoon asks, subtle yet probing, begin to chip away at the walls Hana has built around her heart. For the first time in a long while, she feels seen, not for her appearance, but for her thoughts, emotions, and experiences. The comfort she feels in his presence makes it increasingly difficult to maintain the ugly, shy persona she has been hiding behind. A critical moment arrives when Jihoon asks her directly, in a gentle but earnest tone, "Why are you pretending to be someone you're not?" The question pierces through Hana's defenses. Her hands tremble slightly, her voice quivers, and she feels a lump form in her throat. In that instant, she realizes that the facade she has relied on to protect herself from rejection has also prevented her from experiencing real connection and love. Hana begins to speak, hesitating at first, but slowly gathering courage. She shares the story of her struggles, how she grew up poor, working tirelessly to support her family, and how she feared that her financial status and humble appearance would make her unworthy of love. She admits that she pretended to be unattractive not out of malice or deceit, but out of fear of humiliation, rejection, and judgment. Each word is raw, heartfelt, and vulnerable, revealing the depth of her humanity and the pain she has endured. Jihoon listens silently, his expression softening with each confession. He sees the truth in her eyes, the honesty and sincerity that have always been there, hidden beneath layers of fear. There's no judgment, no impatience, only a profound recognition of her courage and inner beauty. His understanding presence allows Hana to feel safe, a feeling she has rarely experienced. She realizes that in revealing her truth, she has not been exposed or humiliated, instead, she has shown strength and authenticity. The emotional revelation transforms the dynamic between them. What began as a blind date under false pretenses now becomes a moment of genuine connection and intimacy. Hana experiences a profound sense of relief and empowerment, understanding that vulnerability does not equate to weakness. Jihoon, in turn, sees the extraordinary depth of her character, appreciating her resilience, honesty, and compassionate heart. This moment is pivotal because it demonstrates that true beauty and love are rooted in authenticity and courage, not appearances or status. Hana's confession paves the way for an emotional bond built on trust, respect, and admiration, a bond that will soon culminate in a life-changing proposal, proving that love thrives where honesty and sincerity flourish. After Hana's heartfelt confession, the atmosphere between her and Jihoon changes completely. The walls of pretense and fear have crumbled, leaving only honesty, vulnerability, and mutual respect. Jihoon sees, in her words and expressions, a rare authenticity, a woman whose strength comes not from wealth or beauty, but from her courage, resilience, and kindness. For the first time, he feels a connection so deep that appearances and social status become irrelevant. Hana, still nervous and self-conscious, notices the gentle warmth in Jihoon's eyes. Unlike anyone she has ever met, he does not treat her past struggles as shortcomings or reasons for pity. Instead, he admires the honesty that allowed her to reveal her true self. The realization hits her: she is valued not for what she looks like or what she owns, but for who she truly is inside. This emotional revelation brings tears to her eyes, but they are tears of relief and hope rather than sadness or fear. Jihoon, aware of the powerful bond forming between them, decides to act on his feelings. With a calm yet sincere demeanor, he reaches across the table and gently takes her hand. He tells Hana that he has never met anyone like her, a woman whose spirit shines brighter than any luxury, whose honesty outweighs any superficial charm. He explains that he does not care about appearances or social status. What matters to him is her heart, her integrity, and her courage to be herself. In a moment filled with emotion, Jihoon proposes to Hana. It is not a flashy, grand gesture designed to impress onlookers, but a deeply personal and meaningful proposal, reflecting the journey they have shared. He promises to love her for who she truly is, to support her dreams, and to build a life together founded on trust, understanding, and authenticity. Hana, overwhelmed with joy and disbelief, finally feels that her fears and insecurities were met not with judgment, but with acceptance and love. This proposal is symbolic as much as it is literal. It represents the triumph of truth over pretense, love over fear, and character over status. Hana's journey from hiding behind a disguise to embracing her true self demonstrates that genuine connections are born not from perfection or wealth, but from sincerity and vulnerability. Jihoon's acceptance and proposal affirm that love can flourish when two people value each other's hearts above all else. Ultimately, this turning point marks the culmination of Hana's emotional growth. She learns that embracing one's true self is not only liberating but also the key to finding real love. The story closes with a powerful message: when honesty, courage, and sincerity guide our actions, life has a way of rewarding us with love and happiness that surpasses all expectations.